Welcome to the Bearcat Coaches Show. I'm Graham Simpson. The baseball team went 4-0 last week to extend their winning streak to 5 games. Hear from Coach Burke about the series sweep of Claflin and how the team is preparing for #1 North Greenville Tuesday and Augusta this weekend.
We're here with head baseball coach Jason Burke. Sun shining, nice weather, 5 in a row. Series sweep against Claflin. You've scored 10 or more runs in the last 5 games. How are we feeling?
Feeling pretty good right now, Hunter. I just told the guys standing right there, I think your last, couple of games or your last 10 games, for a lot of people use that stat, I think they mean something. And, we've won 5 in a row now. Offense is obviously clicking, scoring a lot of runs. And I believe we're 7-3 in our last 10, which to me is a huge stat. And I just told the guys, to me, that's something to build momentum off of. That's something to build confidence. And, hopefully we can take that into Tuesday and into the weekend versus Augusta as well.
Obviously, each 3 games has seen someone more or less kind of take over. You had Connor Droz in the first game of the doubleheader. He had a really big game. You had a bunch of players. Obviously, the big hit from Lucas Martino to end things towards the end of the second game. And then this game, on Saturday, seemed to have a lot of new faces kind of take over. Colin Murphy had a couple big hits. Caleb McKittrick had a couple big hits. It just seemed, especially in the first inning, it seemed everyone was, either scoring, getting on base, getting a couple extra base knocks. Getting, I think it was 13 runs in the first inning. How important was that to really set the tone for the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think, anytime that you can score in the first inning and kind of throw a punch, I think it's a good thing. And, offensively in that first inning, we just did a good job of swinging at what we should swing at and not swinging at what we shouldn't. I believe we had 5 walks in that inning, maybe 6. And you take those free bases if they're going to give it to you, and then the hits, they become runs. So I felt like we did a really good job of that. And you're right. We had a lot of guys show up this weekend at different times. And, that's the message we've been preaching, is just pass the bat to the next guy. And sometimes it'll be a Connor Droz or a Will McClellan in the middle of the order. And, sometimes it'll be someone like a McKittrick or it'll be someone like a Caleb Singleton. I told the guys after the game, Caleb Singleton was on base, I believe, 5 times today. And that kind of speed, getting on the bases that much, can wreak havoc. It doesn't matter what the score is or who you're playing.
You mentioned Will McClellan, the redshirt freshman. I think he had 2 doubles. He had a crap ton of RBIs today. What's been your thoughts on his play after obviously not playing last season? He was named PBC Freshman of the Week a couple of weeks back. He's been hitting the ball very well and also a very stable presence behind the dish.
Yeah, Will's been phenomenal for us this year. We thought Will was going to be a good player last year. He had some unfortunate things happen. He got mono pretty much right before our season, and obviously coming into this year, he put on some muscle mass this summer and during the spring last year when he knew he wasn't going to play. And, he's been really good. And, again, swinging at what you should swing at and taking what you should take. Will, I believe, has almost an even walk to strikeout ratio. I think it's within one or 2 walks compared to his strikeouts. So, not only is he hitting for power, but he's also got a really high on-base percentage and, again, does a very good job of the message that we preach to our guys, which is just pass the bat to the next guy.
It seemed that at least in this series and the last couple games as well, going outside of the series with Claflin, the starting pitching has been very strong. You got good performances out of Nick Foray, Luke Johnson today, Cooper King in the second game. What's your thought, Ben, on the starting rotation? Obviously midweek games, you might start some guys that are kind of on the verge, or you want to see what you got out of some guys, so those might be kind of hit or miss. But overall, it seems the starting rotation, at least on the weekend side, has really shored up over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I think, the decision to move Evan Demarius to the bullpen has paid off huge, and that affects the rotation. Like you're saying, we started, Luke Johnson versus Emmanuel in North Georgia, and now versus Claflin in the rotation as well. And the biggest thing is, we're just throwing a lot of strikes. Foray, Cooper, and Luke are all throwing a lot of strikes. And, when you do that, people have to hit their way around the bases. And, that's the message we've been sending to our entire pitching staff, not just our starters. And, again, having Evan back there and having Bennett Nance back there as 2 pretty stable strike throwers in the later innings is huge for our pitching staff as well.
Obviously, you move to another midweek game. This one a bit different than most. You go up to Fluor Field, home of the Greenville Drive, single-A affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. You're going up against North Greenville again, a team that gave you trouble a couple weeks ago earlier in the month. You were able to get a good amount of runs on them, being the #1 team. What are your thoughts, and what are some interesting quirks about playing in a major league ballpark such as Fluor Field?
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting day for our guys. Anytime you get to play, in a minor league field or a major league field, it's a really cool thing. And they got a great facility up there. I mean, it's a miniature Fenway Park, and it'll be quirky in left field and kind of quirky in right center, where it kind of jolts out and gets really big. So we'll have to make sure that we're prepared and ready for that, and we'll work on that Monday. And obviously, once we get there for pregame, we'll do the same thing and work on that. Last time we played them, and they're number one in the country for a reason. They're a very good team. They're a very deep team. You're right. We did score a decent bit of runs off of them, but we fell behind big early. We gave up a lot of runs in the first, a lot of runs in the second, and had to kind of chip our way back in there. And again, it was the free 90s. It was the walks and hit by pitches that really hurt us. Versus a team like that with really good bats, you have to make them hit their way around the bases, and they're going to get their hits. They're going to hit some extra base hits because they're so talented. But if you don't give them anything, with errors or walks or hit by pitches before that, it becomes 1-run innings instead of 3 or 4, and that's how you have a chance to beat a team like that, is really limiting their damage and taking advantage of it when they give it to us.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Coach. Hopefully we see some exciting baseball on Tuesday. Stay tuned for more on the Bearcat Coaches Show.
You've envisioned it before, your future. It's big and it's bold. Now, it's time to make it happen. Our experienced faculty and friendly staff work to provide a personalized and supportive academic experience that most institutions cannot match. Lander University offers fast, flexible, and affordable online and graduate programs for those who want to launch their career path to the next level. When you launch with Lander, the world will take notice. Learn more today at www.lander.edu.
Women's lacrosse went 1-1 to open up conference play, defeating Montevallo 18-9 and falling to Alabama Huntsville 12-9. We talked to Coach DeShield to get his thoughts on opening up conference action and their home match against Shorter on Friday.
Here with head women's lacrosse coach Bob DeShield. Coach, 1-1 week last week. Started off the conference season with a win over Montevallo, a pretty dominating win. What did you see from your team in that performance?
That was a huge one for us. Last year we beat them by 1 in like the last minute, so to come out there and beat them by 9, get running clock, and go up by 10 in that one was big. We saw a total team performance for 60 minutes that we've been wanting to see all year. We've had some great performances throughout the year, but this was our best one, and to come in conference play on the road was huge for us.
Amy Peterson led the team in points. Alyssa Sukan, after a couple slow games, got back on the score sheet with 5 goals. What did you see from both of them in that game?
Both of them were just assertive. They played downhill, they got to cage, and they earned everything they got. And it was great to see our attack in general was playing with just tremendous confidence, and they were shooting extremely accurately that day. And it was a really fun performance to see our big offensive threats just totally dominate out there.
So you guys come back on Sunday, lose a tough game to UAH. You guys were in the game at halftime, and then UAH was able to pull away with some good defense in the second half. What did you see from your team on Sunday?
We came out with a great start. We're up 1-0 about 10 minutes into the game, but we had so many opportunities early in the game. We were dominating the first 10 minutes. To only be up 1-0, I think really kind of hurt us. We got man up a couple times and didn't convert. We created a lot of opportunities. We won the draw battle. We stopped them several times on the defensive end. We were riding really well. We did everything you want to do to put yourself in the game. We just weren't able to convert either with some goals or with our clears. We had plenty of possessions, but weren't able to convert.
So the big issue you guys have when it comes to your losses has been turnovers. And it's not the number of turnovers, just when they come in the offensive zone. What can you guys do to limit those this coming week?
We just got to be smart with the ball. And it starts with coaching and it trickles down to the players as well. We just got to be able to really reinforce taking care of it. And as we kind of always say, don't settle for good when we know great will pop up. And I think we just sometimes get a little impatient and we see something that's open, but just kind of looking forward to working on that, and really correcting it so we can turn it into a 2-0 weekend this weekend.
So you guys got 2 conference games coming up this week. You host Shorter on Friday, Lee on Sunday. What do you want to see from your team this weekend?
It's a huge weekend, huge energy weekend. It's our senior weekend, so we're recognizing our inaugural class on Friday against Shorter, and then on Sunday we've got a couple early graduates that we're recognizing as well. So we have 15 total seniors. So we want it just to be a celebration of everything, celebration of what we've been able to start here, and we want to be able to carry that energy into a good performance on Friday and then a huge one on Sunday against a really good Lee squad.
So you guys, after Lee, you guys will face Belmont Abbey in the midweek, and then you guys have 2 weeks off.
Yes.
A weird thing to happen midway through the season. What are you guys going to work on those 2 weeks that you guys are going to have?
That's a great
competition?
question. It was super awkward breaking the schedule, how things get shifted around while forming a schedule. So it'd be good. We've been really working the girls hard, and they've been performing and really providing us with the energy. So it'd be good to get a little bit of a break, still getting good practices, and really kind of just getting the stick work and strategy and execution a lot better.
Coach, thank you very much. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
Open since 1959, the Dixie Drive-In is home to the Dixie Cheese. A short-order restaurant with a family-friendly atmosphere, the Dixie Drive-In offers comfort foods like burgers, fries, and sweet tea. Located across the street from the Jeff May Complex at 600 Montague Avenue, be sure to plan your post-game meal at the Dixie Drive-In.
The 11th ranked men's tennis team was a perfect 3-0 last week, including a huge 4-3 victory over the 20th ranked North Georgia Nighthawks on Friday. We caught up with Coach Simpson to talk about the team's play last week and how they are preparing for this week.
Here with head men's tennis coach Brett Simpson. Coach, exciting week last week. You guys took down top 20 North Georgia 4-3. Obviously very exciting when you go to 4-3. What was your overall thoughts of your team's fight in that match?
Yeah, it was always going to be a tough match. We know that when we before the match. So every point is going to be earned. We got off to a tough start, losing the doubles point. So from that point on, it was going to be very difficult for us to win. But we knew we still had a chance if things went our way, and we really battled hard. And in the end, we were able to just get there and win that last match. Got to 3 matches all, and Alexander Kreppy, who was last man on the court, he was able to get the job done in 3 sets.
What was your reaction when you saw that last point hit before?
Well, it was a interesting match because both guys were kind of cramping towards the end of it. It was very long, probably the longest match we've played this year. Pretty extreme heat as well. I think it was mid-80s. So yeah, it was relief. I was just hoping he was able to physically get through, and as long as he could physically get the job done, I felt like he had a good chance of winning. So it was just a matter of him being able to physically hang in there, and it was a great effort.
So you guys come back the next day. It would have been easy to have an emotional high and a letdown, but you guys were able to shut out Young Harris. What was your reaction to your team being able to come back that next day?
Yeah, tough to come back the next day after playing for 4 or so hours. So Young Harris is a good team. So we talked about that. It was a new day. It didn't matter what happened the day before. We still had to be very focused. And so yeah, we were able to get the job done. I had some pretty tired guys out there by the end of the second day, but we were able to battle through, and that's what matters.
So Hugo right there was named PBC Player of the Week this week. What has been your overall thoughts on his performance this season?
Yeah, it was a match-turning win the other day. He beat the guy ranked 5 or 6 in the country. So Hugo obviously knew he was in for a very tough match against North Georgia. That win is probably why he got Player of the Week, but it's a substantial win, best win of his career so far. But he had played the same guy in the fall in the semifinals of our regional, and it was a very close match. So he knew what to expect, and we did it. Other guys won as well, but him winning was a huge part of us being able to win that day.
So you guys got a big weekend coming up, including a matchup with Columbus State, who the PBC always seems to go through. What do you want to see from your team this weekend?
Yeah, we got a tough match with Georgia College Saturday. So we have to really, really focus and get through that match. It's hard to worry too much about Columbus until after we played that match. But yes, if we want to win the conference championship, we're going to have to beat Columbus State. Be a big ask. But I think our guys, if we can get through Georgia College, I think our guys will feel pretty good about our chances.
Coach, thank you very much. Good luck this weekend. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
Break on the Lake offers a menu loaded with a wide range of delicious seafood and steaks, along with an amazing selection of handcrafted cocktails. From appetizers to soups and salads, Break on the Lake's food is served with an intimate space perfect for a cozy meal with family or a quiet date night. Whatever you're here for, you can always count on Break on the Lake for fresh seafood and a warm welcome from their team. Thanks to Sports Break and Break on the Lake, proud sponsors of Bearcat Athletics.
The track and field teams competed in their Weeks Baskin Invitational this past weekend. Hear from what Coach Scola had to say about the team's performance.
Here with head track and field coach Kevin Scola. Coach, interesting weekend at the Weeks Baskin Invitational. Riley Walters placing third behind athletes from South Carolina and Calder Charleston. That's it. Just give her your thoughts on her performance.
She looked excellent. It was raining. It was awful weather for the jumps, and Riley kept her composure. Her form looked excellent. She's going to keep improving this season.
And then, what were some other people who impressed you throughout?
I thought Ashley Early looked very good in the 400. So did Angel Hyde, running right with her. They both improved from last week. Missy O'Toole and Megan Hemby looked very good in the 1500, and our throwers, as usual, looked good across the board. Addie Davis, again, tough conditions. She went out and PR'd and beat her best by 3 meters this season.
So you guys go to Southern Wesleyan this week. What do you want to see from your team? Who can we look out for this weekend?
It's going to be mostly men competing. I got a couple guys that we're going to try in the long jump that haven't jumped yet, but they have some speed, so we'll see if they have the pop coming off the board. Riley Bird's going to be trying the steeplechase for the first time. It should be a lot of fun to watch. I think it's going to be a great event for him. I've thought that since watching him across country in August. So this should be a fun meet.
Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
If you're looking for a place to enjoy good eats and good times, look no further than Sports Break. Great food, friendly service, and a fun atmosphere have been on the menu since 1990. So bring the family by for lunch, stop in to watch a game, or enjoy a late night with friends with some cold drinks while listening to live music at Sports Break.
The women's tennis team split their 2 conference matches this week, losing to the 10th-ranked North Georgia Nighthawks and taking down Young Harris 6-1 on Saturday. We talked to Coach Allison to get her thoughts on how the team is performing.
Here with head women's tennis coach Sam Allison. Coach, you guys went 1-1 last week. Just give your overall thoughts on your team's win against Young Harris.
Yeah, so Young Harris was a lot better than we had anticipated. They've definitely gotten better in last years, and they came to fight, and I was really proud of my girls for just hanging in there and getting the job done, especially after North Georgia. North Georgia, is going to contend to be probably one of the best teams in our conferences, and our team really put up a good fight. And so coming off of that match, you're sore, you're tired, and I was really proud of them for ending the weekend on a win.
So your schedule doesn't get much easier as you have a top 15 Georgia College team and then a top 50 Columbus State team. What do you want to see from your team this weekend, a tough weekend of PVC play?
Yeah, so if we could do the same thing we did last weekend, this weekend, I think we'll be victorious. We'll get kind of the same results. Georgia College is a huge match for us. They're always really good, and he's done a really good job recruiting, and he has a really deep team. So it's going to be a huge match for us, and I'm excited to see what happens.
Who are some of the players that we can look out for the rest of the season?
Yeah, so Zena is undefeated in conference, our #1 player. So I'm really hoping that she can keep that, especially with this being her last year. Amelia's been playing really good at 2 singles. Our 3 doubles teams has really been a huge anchor for us. Just doing well and getting a W, and then waiting for 1 or 2 to win. So yeah, those are some players that we're hoping to. Also, Hannah has been playing really good. She's been playing 5 and 6, and she right now has the winningest record of I think the 6 singles when looking at all the stats. So those are some players to look out for. But as a whole, it's really just been taking a team. Every time we win, it's been a team.
Right. Coach, thank you very much. Best of luck this weekend. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaches Show right after this.
Welcome to Hamilton Park Apartments, your destination for luxury living in Greenwood. We feature studio, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. And first-class amenities. We'll see you soon.
The men's lacrosse team opened up conference action Saturday, knocking off 19th ranked Alabama Huntsville 17-9. Hear from Coach Lepore about the team's win and how the defense allowed just one goal in the second half.
We're here with head men's lacrosse coach Tony Lepore. Big win over number 19th ranked Alabama Huntsville. If you don't mind just kind of going through your thoughts on how the day went. A bit of a slow start, but you guys seemed to really figure things out after the first quarter.
Correct. We made some adjustments, obviously, during that the first quarter. We had the little time to talk to the team. Credit to Coach Salter and Coach Gifford making some adjustments to the ride, and defensively, able to start earning the ball back. Really frustrated them with our ride today, and I think that was kind of like helped us play a lot of offense and pull away at the end.
You talk about making it hard on this Huntsville team. In the third quarter, you guys limited them to just 2 clears, 2 of 8. Was that something you guys were looking to get going earlier in the game, or was that just something that you were really able to start exploiting after the after the halftime?
Well, it was obviously something we had in our game plan. Early on, we didn't. We made a few mental mistakes early, which I think kind of led to a few of their goals. But obviously that was a part of the game plan. We wanted to go ahead and implement that, and the guys executed. So, yeah.
26 turnovers for this Huntsville squad, obviously 19 caused. It seems like this defensive unit and the offensive unit, we seem to talk about it during the coaches show after games, but it does seem that no matter where on the field, this team can just cause turnovers, regardless of the position.
Yeah, that's something we work on in practice. We work on ball pressure, we work on having an aggressive ride, and making every single one of our players, capable of hunting the ball.
Adam had an incredible game, 6 goals, I think an assist as well. It seems that no matter what game, it's Adam, Kyle, Nolan, it seems like there's one guy that always seems to show up. If you don't mind just kind of talking about his ability to score the ball today. He seems like he's a very balanced player, whether it's getting a lot of assists, but today obviously a lot of goals.
Yeah, obviously, Adam's a very capable player. He's reigning conference player of the year, and teams are well aware of him. And luckily for us, he's got some really great players around him that open things up for him so he can get those goals. And what was really cool today is whether I think it was his second or third goal of the game was his 100th for his career.
Thank you very much, Coach. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Take care.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
The Bearcats softball team went on the road and took 2 out of 3 from Georgia College this past weekend. We sat down with Coach Crawford to talk about the series win and welcoming USC Aiken to town this weekend.
Right. Here with head softball coach Glenn Crawford. Coach, where we had the game with Catawba cut off right after we talked last week, and then you guys were able to come back, get your minds right, and take the first game against Georgia College with 6 unanswered runs. What did you see from your team in that first game?
Well, staying, focused and I guess refocused on Georgia College after Catawba. We went and finally made adjustments on the pitcher. She had us confused a little bit for about 2 or 3 innings, and then we made adjustments, and then once one hit came in, they seemed like they just followed, and then we ran good bases. put pressure on them, made them make errors, and we took capitalized on those errors.
So in game 2, you got some big RBIs for Shannon, Nene, Behe. What did you see from your team in that second game to come away and scratch and claw for a 4-2 win?
Well, I think the first game helped us in the second game because they knew that it was going to be a tough battle, and what we said all week. So no sticking to the game plan, making adjustments at the plate, getting good defense, good pitching, and then once again timely hits and running the bases. It really helped us.
So you guys got 2 big wins from your pitchers. What did you see from your pitchers this weekend?
I thought Taylor and Bailey threw great. I thought Cam threw great on Saturday. I just felt that where they had the timely hits, we didn't have the timely hits. Where they made adjustments, we didn't make adjustments on Saturday for whatever reason, and we faced their number 1 pitcher again, and she just kept us off balance, and we couldn't make the adjustments in. So, but I was proud of all our pitchers. I thought we threw well. We thought we pounded the zone, got the results we wanted. We just didn't make the plays behind them when we needed to.
So you guys come back home for another series against USC Aiken.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the Pacers that to come to town this weekend?
Well, it's Aiken, so it's always going to be a tough battle. It's going to be one right up there with all the Peach Belt teams. And once again, I say it every week, and it probably gets old, but it's the team that makes the most adjustments and does the little things that's going to win the ball games. I think our pitchers will be ready. I think our defense will be ready, and hitting. As long as we make adjustments at the plate, we should be all right.
All right. Coach, thank you very much. We'll be right back with the Bearcat Coaching Show right after this.
Dear college sports,
there's light at the end of the tunnel.
A return to normal, and all we love about sports.
You've instilled resilience, focus, and selflessness in us. We've put those lessons to work.
We've found strength and unity in each other.
You continue to take us places we never imagined.
You bring out the best in us.
So when we look forward, we see the light at the end of the tunnel.
We see a better world for all of us and for college sports.
That's all the time we have. Join us next week to get caught up on everything happening in Lander Athletics.